Good evening and hola, and a massive welcome to everybody for this Google Digital Garage online training for Get Your Business Visible on Google. Another partnership with Hola. It's been fantastic to be part of this series of webinars, and wonderful again to be saying hello to a number of attendees here that I've seen over the weeks. Now, my name is Glenn, and I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. So I'm an experienced digital skills trainer with a background in management and consultancy. So really helping businesses identify opportunities to grow, helping with their digital marketing, identifying opportunities online and making sure that they really can maximize their online presence and really keep up to date with all of the emerging technologies that just seem to be coming in almost on a daily basis at the moment. So hopefully I can add a little bit of value to this session for you this afternoon. With me is the wonderful Annie. You can see Annie in the chat. You can see Annie, she's got a little blue spanner just by the side of her name, and she's also been part of some of these Hola partnership sessions. So it's wonderful to welcome everybody back. I hope you're comfortable and I hope you're ready to run through a session which will give you some insights to help you with your online presence. To maximize and really optimize your online presence, and to recognize some of the factors that will help you to do all of those things and more. So it's quite a packed session. I hope you've got your pen and paper ready, or your note-taking device of choice. And it is wonderful to be welcoming lots and lots of people from around the world again, as we always do on these Hola sessions. So I can see lots and lots of hellos. I'd just like to say a massive hello to everybody. I don't think I'm going to be able to read them all out without wasting too much of your time. When we could be delivering you some of the content from this session. So hello, welcome. Make yourselves comfortable. Hope you've got a nice drink, cup of tea, glass of water ready, and you're all ready to go. Now, before we do start, I would like to remind you that if you are having any difficulties viewing the webinar at the moment, then please just refresh your webpage. Hopefully that should make everything come back and work as you need it to. Sometimes we can experience these little difficulties, but with most things tech, shut it down, open it back up again, and it should be okay. Now, if you'd like to join in the instant chat, which has been a massive part of these Hola sessions throughout all of the series that we've run, then please do sign into your YouTube account. I can see a lot of people have already done so, and a lot of people are already saying hello, which is fantastic. But if you can't see the chat function, sign into your YouTube account or create a YouTube account for yourself. That's really useful for a number of reasons. One being that you will have a history function assigned to your account then, which you can then go back and revisit all of the videos that you might have started and not finished. Really, really handy, rather than thinking, what was I watching last week? But also for these sessions, they'll be in your history too. Although these sessions will also be replayable. I believe it's for up to 6 months. Check your Hola account where you signed up for this to give you a few more details on that. But these sessions should be replayable for up to 6 months to give you plenty of opportunity to revisit the material and to just make sure that all of the learning that you've taken on board from this session, if you need to look at any particular segments, it's all there for you, which is a really, really nice function to have available to you. So I hope you enjoy that. Now, we are offering this session, this Get Your Business Visible on Google, as part of a broader range of webinars too, which are also available, as well as being within your Hola program. They're also available on the Google Digital Garage site, which is g.co/digital garage. So I'd urge you, when you get a moment, to go over and have a look at that site and see what else can entice you to sign up over there. There's so much great no-cost training available. There's courses like the fundamentals of digital marketing. All of these things are going to help you to broaden your horizons and to maximize everything that you do online to reach your audience at the time that you'd like to reach your audience. Okay, so without further ado, I think it's time that we moved into the session and let's look at what we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to be looking in the first section on a broad sense, understanding how customers find your business, that journey, that search journey, search engine results pages, how it all links in, how it all fits together. and also understanding a bit about how search works. There's a great video coming up. Now we have in section 2 our ability to build a presence on Google Search and Maps, that Google Business Profile element, and looking at our local customers and making sure that we're making the most of our local presence online too. And then in the 3rd section, we'll be looking at how we optimize our visibility on Google. Some really good tips again. So have your pen and paper or note-taking device ready so that we can run through some of those ways, some of those things that you need to look at again and again and keep there over time to make sure that you're optimizing, keeping up with trends, and of course, all importantly, your audience online. All right, so before we do actually move into the content, we do have a one-to-one mentoring service available. It's a fantastic service. Myself and Annie are both part of this service. It produces some really great results. You can sign up at g.co/UK mentoring. But again, I am aware that within your HOLA program, the partnership with Google, that you are eligible for one-to-one mentoring as a result of being signed up and part of this program. So again, please reference your HOLA account in order for you to understand how best to do that. I believe that the mentoring service there is available towards the end of the program, which I know we're kind of coming up to very, very soon indeed. So again, use all of the options available to you to gain that knowledge and to gain the experience in the areas that are going to be important to you and to your business. Okay, let's get started. Let's always start with some stats and some facts. These are really interesting. They always set the scene really, really well. So 3 out of 4 online customers use a search engine to find a business. So we're using a search engine. That may well be Google as the most popular search service available, but you've got Bing, you've got Yahoo, you've got a number of search engines available to you to essentially solve the problems or the challenges that you have by typing in your search query. And we've also got here 82% of smartphone users reported routinely conducting local mobile searches. So 82% of smartphone users. That's a huge amount. Also, just to emphasize smartphone users there, you know, our smartphone is now our device of choice. It's the thing that we use the most, I guess, because it's always to hand. You know, it's on silent at the moment, clearly, of course, but nonetheless, it's still to hand. As over habits over time, it tends to be now. I'm sure that most of us could probably reach out and within a few feet of us find our mobile device. So this is how your customers are actually searching for solutions to the challenges that they have. You know, we're typing our queries into our search engine, we're using our smartphone. So again, bear this in mind in terms of customer behavior when you're thinking about how to best approach and reach your customers too. So people are using search engines, so we know they're online, we know that they have access to online facilities, and we also know that most of them are actually accessing, maybe due to convenience, maybe due to being on the go, maybe due to being really busy people, that we're using our smartphone because it's there, it's convenient, it's there on our breaks, it's there in our lunch hours, it's there when we're maybe commuting to and from work on the train. However we do it, you know, we're all finding our moments to do the searches that we need to do. So what does this really, really mean? We need to have a look at how customers are finding you as well. Think of your own search habits. I think it's really, really important that we get into the mindset of how we do things online, and then how we can also translate that into what our customers are doing online as well. So our search and our shopping behavior has really changed thanks to the internet and the smartphone, as we've just seen in those stats. You know, we're here to really drive local customers to our business. So again, getting into that mindset, you can see on the screen, it says pizza near me, because, you know, maybe we're considering going out for pizza for the evening, or substitute that with whatever your preferred food type is, because we are pretty much near what we in the UK would call tea time or dinner time or supper time. Lots of phrases for that. So think that you need to go out for some food this evening. How are you going to phrase that search? What words are you now typing in? Because this is the key part, the key words that you're going to be using. Now, it's a problem. Or it's a problem to solve, because if, for example, if I'm new to this area and I want to find a good pizza place near me, there's going to be quite a number of factors involved in me fulfilling that and getting the pizza from the place that I think is best suited. So put yourself into that mindset, and also then now drop it into chat for me, please. What phrase would you be using to source a food establishment, a pizza place nearby in your locality that you wanted to visit? So keep in mind why you would actually select the establishment that you are going to select. You don't have to select it now. It's just more about the overall search journey. So these are the questions to ask yourself. And again, these are the questions that your audience, that's really relevant to and for your audience. How do you search for that product or service online? And then what factors help you decide which listing to select? So if you've typed in pizza near me, for example, you've just used some really popular keywords. Okay, I've just seen a message there from Teresa saying today's the last course. Okay, I thought we were getting really, really close towards the end of the sessions. Fantastic. Oh, thank you very much, Teresa. Yes, okay, so the factors. So back to what I'm asking you on screen. So how did you search? What did you type in? And then what factors are you using to select the listing in order for you to perhaps make that purchase? Now, for me, I would be looking for how far away it is, so the location. I would be looking for the reviews, most certainly would be looking for the star rate system to see how popular that establishment actually is. So what have we got here? Pizza, name of the city, or best pizza in town. Yeah, best is again a really big, widely used keywords to use that people are now essentially using as a refinement of their searches. So yeah, I would perhaps be using best pizza near me. I would be, as I say, look, I'd also be looking, I think, because it's food, I'd be looking at the images. So for me, I think the key elements that would help me to decide would be the location, the images that came up, and the reviews for the place that I was considering. Because what do reviews do? They give you social credibility. They help you to understand whether that place in the eyes of its customers is any good. I think, quite simply put, is any good at all. Okay, fantastic. So keep those answers coming in. So I can see, again, we've got the best pizza, the name of the city. So if you're using that type of logic to find the establishment that you're looking for, your customers may well be using that type of logic when they're trying to find you. So again, thinking about ensuring that your keywords match. And again, what's important to me, so reviews and photos, that again, also that your listings have good reviews, good photos there, and that you're being as helpful as you can for your customers. So the customer online search journey there, we can see essentially what we've just done is we search, we make a decision, and then we engage. Now, the decision process we've just been through, we critically assess the listings presented to us through Google Search or Google Maps, however it is that we've actually done that, or whatever platform it is that we've used. We want personalized and relevant results to us. The whole search journey is about being relevant. And as I've mentioned, we might look at reviews to help us really make that decision. Now, what we want to make sure is that we get that engagement at the end. We need all of the information that we need to help us make our decision and be happy with that decision as well. Open Now on local searches again has really, really risen again because of the prevalence of lockdown, where a lot of things were actually closed for quite long periods of time, or opening hours changed, for example. So again, think about what's relevant to your customers and your locality. So why is search important? Search is important because there are so many businesses, so many individuals actually online. So what that really means for you is that potentially there are a lot of industry peers or competition that you have online that you want to stand out from. So therefore, when people are searching, and we can see on the screen, a screen I'm sure that we've all seen fairly often, when we're typing in that query, or when our customers are typing in that query, we want to make sure that we're the ones that come up at the end of that search on that search engine results page. Now, in order for us to achieve that, there is a technique that is called search engine optimization, or SEO, as it's most commonly referred to. So what we're going to be doing next, I did mention that we had a really good video, is we're going to take a few minutes to watch a video about how search works, some of the factors that are involved that match the results to the search queries that are typed in. This is an amazing amount of information for how this works, crammed into a few minutes. So I'm going to ask Annie if she would post the link to the video for me as well, because this is well worth a revisit. Every time I watch this video, because of the amount of information that's in it, I always tend to find something else that I hadn't heard the time before. So let's hope that that works in the same way for you. And here we go. So I'll be watching this with you, and I'll return at the end of the video. So enjoy this, sit back and enjoy, and really just marvel, I think, at how search works for you, but also try and remember that you want to appeal to your customers on search, and that some of the factors that you'll see on here, how you can start to implement those for your own business or your own online presence too. Here we go.
Every day, billions of people come here with questions about all kinds of things. Sometimes we even get questions about Google search itself, like how this whole thing actually works. And while this is a subject entire books have been written about, there's a good chance you're in the market for something a little more concise. So let's say it's getting close to dinner and you want a recipe for lasagna. You've probably seen this before, but let's go a little deeper. Since the beginning, back when the homepage looked like this, Google has been continuously mapping the web, hundreds of billions of pages, to create something called an index. Think of it as the giant library we look through whenever you do a search for lasagna or anything else. Now, the word lasagna shows up a lot on the web. Pages about the history of lasagna, articles by scientists whose last name happened to be lasagna, stuff other people might be looking for. But if you're hungry, randomly clicking through millions of links is no fun. This is where Google's ranking algorithms come into play. First, they try to understand what you're looking for, so they can be helpful even if you don't know exactly the right words to use or if your spelling is a little off. Then they sift through millions of possible matches in the index and automatically assemble a page that tries to put the most relevant information up top for you to choose from. Okay, now we have some results. But how did the algorithms actually decide what made it onto the first page? There are hundreds of factors that go into ranking search results, so let's talk about a few of them. You may already know that pages containing the words you search for are more likely to end up at the top. No surprise there. But the location of those words, like in the page's title or in an image's caption, those are factors too. There's a lot more to ranking than just words. Back when Google got started, we looked at how pages link to each other to better understand what pages were about and how important and trustworthy they seemed. Today, linking is still an important factor. Another factor is location, where a search happens. Because if you happen to be in Ormea, Italy, you might be looking for information about their annual lasagna festival. But if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, you probably aren't. When a web page was uploaded is an important factor too. Pages published more recently often have more accurate information, especially in the case of a rapidly developing news story. Of course, not every site on the web is trying to be helpful. Just like with robocalls on your phone or spam in your email, there are a lot of sites that only exist to scam, and every day scammers upload millions more of them. So just because instantvirusdownload.net lists the words lasagna recipe 400 times, that doesn't mean it's going to help you make dinner. We spend a lot of time trying to stay one step ahead of tricks like these, making sure our algorithms can recognize scam sites and flag them before they make it to your search results page. So let's review. Billions of times a day, whenever someone searches for lasagna, or resume writing tips, or how to swaddle a baby, or anything else, Google's software locates all the potentially relevant results on the web, removes all the spam, and ranks them based on hundreds of factors like keywords, links, location, and freshness. Okay, good time to take a breath. This last part is about how we make changes to search, and it's important. Since 1998, when Google went online, people seem to have found our results pretty helpful. But the web is always changing, and people are always searching for new things. In fact, 1 in every 7 searches is for something that's never been typed into the search box before, by anyone, ever. So we're always working on updates to search, thousands every year, which brings up a big question. How do we decide whether a change is making search more helpful? Well, one of the ways we evaluate potential updates to search is by asking people like you. Every day, thousands of search quality raters look at samples of search results side by side, then give feedback about the relevance and reliability of the information. To make sure those evaluations are consistent, the raters follow a list of search quality evaluator guidelines. Think of them as our publicly available guide to what makes a good result good. Oh, and one last thing to remember. We use responses from raters to evaluate changes, but they don't directly impact how search results are ranked. So there you have it. Every time you click search, our algorithms are analyzing the meaning of the words in your search, matching them to the content on the web, understanding what content is most likely to be helpful and reliable, and then automatically putting it all together in a neatly organized page designed to get you the info you need. All in, 0.81 seconds? Wow. Anyone else ready for dinner? Interested in learning more? We've got a whole website dedicated to how search works. Just click right here. Want to read the search quality rater guidelines for yourself? Click right here.
Okay, fantastic. What a fantastic video. There's so much, as I say, to actually take in from that excerpt that you just saw on the screen there. There is a lot more to it, of course, but hopefully that gives you some really good insights into how you can start to make search work for you. Now, what I just want to mention very, very quickly is there are captions available for this live stream that we're on now. I think they were a bit sticky potentially before we watched the video, but I can see them coming up on my screen now, and I can see that they are working fine. So if you do need to use the captions, then please click on the captions part of your YouTube screen. If you click on the bit that says English, when it comes up, that will then translate you into Spanish. So hopefully that's useful for you. And again, I think it stuck a little bit before the video, but I think they should be working absolutely fine now. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, bear that video in mind. Watch it again. I think it could be really, really useful. Do some research in terms of SEO and have a look. YouTube is always a fantastic place to do some SEO research because there are so many keen people online who want to help other people to succeed. And with that in mind, they show the techniques they use to get the most out of their SEO. So that could be a good place to start. All right, so our customers searching for your products and services online, you've got to be there. Otherwise, it's a missed opportunity. You want to make sure that you're there at the right time in the right place. So, being there is important, especially if your search is going to be quite specific and maybe localized. We've looked at some of the local elements of search and how important that can actually be. There are a number of tools to help us understand if people and when people are actually searching for us. Now, the tool that you can see on the screen is an excellent no-cost tool. It's called Google Trends. Now, this tool that you can see, it's really about what people are typing into search engines, into the Google search engine. And it's tracked all of those searches that are being made over time. You'll have noticed from the video, one of the standout facts for me is that 1 in every 7 searches, I think it was, is a search that's been entered into Google for the first time ever. That's astounding given the billions of searches that have been entered into the search engine. So you can see it's a very fluid world. There are lots and lots of new things emerging all of the time, which helps us to create new searches. Google Trends can help you. You can see on the screen there, just under the search term plumbers near me, that the search that it's showing is for the United States. So you can change the locality there quite easily into your territory. So UK or Spain or Montevideo, wherever it is that you are, you can search and find the locality that's best suited for you and your customer base. You'll see next to that it says also for the past 5 years. So you can change that. That could be the past week. That could be the past day. That could be the past 10 years. As far back as the data will go, you can search. So you will actually see, and you can see from the search term that we have, plumbers near me, that that's going back over 5 years. So that's going back to 2013. So in 2013, there weren't that many people actually searching for plumbers near me at all. But you can then see that the near me trend has really escalated over the years. And you can see from 2015 onwards that is just something that's going up and up and up. You will also see, interestingly, that it's in spikes and that there are quieter periods throughout those years. Now, I wonder why that may be. Could it be that there are certain times of the year, winter perhaps being one of them, where people need plumbers more times than the quieter, perhaps warmer, more gentle times of the year? Certainly in the UK, that is the case. So we can start to see when people are using these terms. And again, maybe this helps us really think about the campaigns that we're running to make sure that we're there, if we're a plumber, at the peaks, and perhaps promoting ourselves during the quieter periods, ready for when we hit a peak, that we're in our customer's mind. That's a really important way, I think, to think about search and your presence online. So it's a very, very configurable tool, Google Trends. You can also use compare. So you could have plumbers near me, or plumbers in a particular town, or plumbers, whatever you want to do. You can actually add as many words to make that keyword up and compare that, and again look at popularity. So you can compare two search terms over time and see again perhaps which one has been the most popular, because then maybe that could be the keywords for you. So please have a play with Google Trends. You know, you can't break it at all. There is a lot of data in there and a lot of ways you can start to understand how people are thinking online, what they're searching for, and how they're doing it. So again, an invaluable tool. Okay, so we're just moving into the first pause for questions. I can see Annie doing a fantastic job in the chat with you. There's no questions as of yet, so no problem. I'll just carry on with this now. But if you do get any questions, then please feel free to drop them in the chat. Annie will answer most of those for you, and she may well share a couple with me if we've got time to do that. So no problem at all, and look forward to those. So the second section now is really looking at where we're going to build our presence on Google and how we're going to actually do that. Now, we need to understand where our business can be seen in search. You know, most search engines are essentially working in a very similar way. When a person wants to find in something, they type in that word or phrase, as we've seen, and that is your search query. And you can see that on the top left-hand side of the screen that we're demonstrating there. Now, the goal is to create the most relevant list of results possible. You know, a search engine wants to create the most relevant list because that's its purpose, really. It wants to give you what you need and to help you as a searcher to find what you're looking for. The results are going to include links to websites, but you might also see those local business listings, and you can see that on the right-hand side. Stages Bakery, that's Google Business Profile. Now, the images at the top are going to be your shopping ads, and they're promoting products sold by online retailers, again, which could be you. And it would be very, very interesting to know if anyone's using Google Ads at the moment to promote themselves or their products or their services. Now, you can also have text ads as well. Essentially, everything that you can see that has a little green box by the side of it that says ad is something that someone has paid for via an ad system. So ads are paid placements, essentially, and advertisers really do compete against each other. They're bidding in a real-time auction based on the keywords that they're using for the opportunity to show their ads on the search results page. And it's not just any search results page. Of course, it's page one. That's kind of where everyone wants to be. And clearly there's going to be a lot of competition for page one. Now, organic results appear in the center of the page there, and you can see at the bottom of the page it says this is an organic search result. So that's when you have a website and you're using those search engine optimization techniques that we were talking about before and that we saw partly outlined in the video that we've just watched. So that's an important page. I'm sure, again, most people can identify with that, but that's it broken down. So we need to know where we stand and where perhaps we want to appear as a business. So 3 areas that you can be found with on Google are going to be your organic search. Essentially, that's your search listings that are not paid adverts. That's important just to know. Then your business listings, so again, Google Business Profile, a fantastic tool which we will explore a little bit more, but go to Google Business Profile, or you can do it through Google Maps too. Set yourself up a profile, and you will then have another presence on the web that is going to help funnel your customers towards you, your website, your service, and your products, and the fantastic job that you do. And then, of course, there's paid search. And paid search is an advertising method where you pay for your website to appear in the paid advertising sections of relevant search engine results pages, or SERPs, so SERP, search engine results pages. So that's that broken down. So as we've mentioned, search engine optimization is a key technique when you are looking at organic search. So as it says on the screen, it's the practice of increasing the quantity and quality of traffic to your website through the organic search engine results. And if you're not paying, then this is the bit that you're working on. This is the part where you're optimizing your keywords and going into so many of those different areas that we saw on the video. So Google's got more, and again, as it says in the video, more than 200 signals that determine how a page ranks. So there's no formula for that at all in terms of, there being any set advice. It's really about understanding the quality aspects of an SEO program, and really the content that you're producing and the user journey that you're producing as a result. You want to include information on your website that helps Google understand what your business is about. The search engine's primary goal, as we've already discussed, is to help people to find what they are looking for. So the more information you give Google, the more information that you give your customers by way of your website being optimized and having all of the key information in it, then the better you're likely to fare over time. Make those improvements to your website to help it appear in the organic results. Again, this is your search engine optimization. Then when someone visits Google and types in a word or phrase, a list of the relevant results are going to be displayed. And that's hopefully now, based on your search engine optimization techniques, that's where you're going to start ranking, moving up and improving your presence. So in terms of optimizing for success, we're going to ask you to run that keyword research. SEO, there is no shortcut. I mean, it's very, very important to say that. It can take some time and it can take some effort and some research. And I can see that there's been a couple of questions just asking really about that. It's, again, a topic that you can do lots of research with online. There are some really good places where you can find how to do that. Again, maybe YouTube could be a good starting place. SEO improves your website's visibility for people who are searching for products like yours. So use keyword research, use keyword tools, keyword planners. There's a keyword planner in Google Ads, for example, and you don't actually have to be using a paid campaign to use the Google Keywords Planner. You get a slightly more limited output if you're not using a paid ad campaign, but nonetheless, it really does help you to understand some of the keywords that are going in. And again, you can look online to see that there are some good keyword planning tools available for you to have a look at. And it's really a case, I think, of trying a few out and seeing if they are intuitive to you and if they actually do work for you. So have an experiment, but also have a look perhaps at competitor websites that you're aware of, competitor social media pages, and look at the words, look at the phrases that they're using. And again, think analytically and think, is that something that is going to be relevant to the service or products that they're trying to sell or make me aware of? And are they useful terms that are answering the questions that I might have about that product or service? I think that's a good way to position yourself and to try and look at your own output as objectively as you possibly can. There are some really, really good ways to optimize, but again, it's just not going to happen overnight. So publish useful, high quality content. Why is that important? Well, because those are the things, when we relate back to the fact that perhaps the mobile is the most popular device at the moment, if we're using our devices on the go and we've only got a very limited amount of time to use our devices, then we need our content to be useful and high quality, because it's going to catch the eye. It's going to be those well thought out phrases and words. It's going to be those really good images that stop people in their tracks, especially if you're using things like social media. Generally, it's said now that attention spans are about 8 seconds or so before we get distracted, move on to something else. Social media, approximately 3 to 4 seconds. So we know that we've got a very limited window of time to catch people's attention and to help them to choose us. When you think about the amount of, again, results that are on that you can potentially access, I probably, when I'm using Google search for a particular thing or a particular product or a particular service, I'm going to probably be using page 1 and 2, maybe up to 5, I think is probably my maximum. It's good to go further down and have a look in terms of the pages that are available, because sometimes there are thousands, if not millions. So again, it would be very, very interesting to let me know in chat, how many pages do you look at when you are making a search and you're making a decision about a result to choose? How far do you go? Because some people go a really, really long way in. And of course, there are still some fantastic businesses and services available in the latter pages. It just means they might be optimizing their website, maybe like you are, in terms of trying to move them up the rankings. So don't forget that high quality can exist in terms of services further down the web page structure as well. It's not always all about the first or second page, although I obviously know that that's where most of us do focus on, because again, convenience and relevance. Okay, so Esquela, I can see just 2 pages. Teresa, when I want to know 5 pages. Yeah, okay, cool. So again, maybe 2 to 5. Samantha, first and second, thinking that the best already use SEO. Yeah, of course they do. They're optimizing their presence. They've worked hard to do that, and you do work hard to get on those first few pages, your ranking, and it becomes quite a thing. I know people that almost have competitions with each other in terms of websites to get themselves onto the first page of Google. It becomes a thing to do. Whatever makes it perhaps a more fun process for you. Think about that, in terms of what you can do to make it a fun process, because again, it can take a while. So yeah, thank you very much indeed. So again, we're talking 1 page, 2 page, 5 pages, but not much further than that quite a lot of the time. So that's where search engine optimization can be really, really important. And we just want to make our web pages search friendly. So again, think about titles, meta descriptions. These are both phrases, both things used by the search engine to generate the search result. So again, look those up. Look about how we can make sure we're creating relevant titles and meta descriptions, because again, these things can all influence and improve our ranking over time. So let's have a look at our user intent, and this is important. Again, when we're looking at keywords and keyword research, short keywords, anything you type into a search query is essentially a keyword, by the way. So whatever you put in. Now, if I like trainers, so I'll make this search kind of about me. So trainers, I think, I need some new trainers. So I type in trainers. Think of the millions, the unrealistic amount of results you're actually going to get up if you just type in trainers. And what that helps us to do is think, because then you get all the brands, for example. So there are particular brands of trainers I go for, and there are particular brands of trainers I don't go for, just because of how I've grown up and the things that I've grown up with. So again, this is giving you hopefully some insight into how your audience and your customers might think too. So I start to refine. And so I might move trainers, get those results in, think, I need less results. I need to find somewhere that's local, or I need to find some more relevant results for me. Suddenly, I need the best running trainers for flat feet. This is how we refine our searches over time. So the more ads we use, the closer we're probably going to get to the exact thing that we want. I might want trainers from a specific brand, color white, size 11, etc. You can see the point. You're using the right keywords to help get you closer to the thing that you want. So all of those combinations of keywords need to be in your keyword list on your website. Shoes for nurses. Okay, shoes for nurses, great. Durable shoes for nurses, because they're walking around a lot of time and they don't want to have to keep buying shoes. So they need to be durable so that they can last with that ongoing impact of walking a lot. Trail running shoes, that's an important one. You know, you can run on trails in summer, you can run on trails in winter, but we've now refined our search here to the best trail running shoes for winter. The best, so that's a word that came up in our searches earlier on, trail running shoes and specific. So I don't want all the summer results, I want the winter results. So again, think about all of that in relation to your keywords and the audience you're appealing to, and making sure you have as many combinations of all of these potential combinations as possible. Comfortable shoes. So I'll type in comfortable shoes. Now, pretty much every site is likely to have some type of comfortable shoe. But if you look at that, it says comfortable shoes for plantar fasciitis. Now, plantar fasciitis is a more scientific or medical term for a condition that's related to flat feet. So the point of that being there is that, again, if you are potentially serving a very specific item or product or service, make sure that you get all of the terms in that people might be using to search for them on. So again, plantar fasciitis, who'd have known? But again, that is related to flat feet. So therefore, you're missing a trick if you haven't got comfortable shoes for that particular condition as well. So make sure you're trying to understand your audience as much as possible, who might be in the market specifically for these types of comfortable shoes. Ask yourself questions about your business. Who is it I'm really trying to reach, and what are their needs? Do some keyword research and think really broadly and start to build up those lists of words. You'll find you get a lot very, very quickly, and then do all of the combinations, because, you know, sometimes we don't type our words in order. Sometimes we will just use abbreviations. Sometimes we will shorten location names. There's lots of ways that we change our language. So try and incorporate as much of the user's language as you feel is applicable. So we can now, you also turn to a fantastic, again, no-cost tool called Google Search Console. It's a free service. It helps you to monitor and maintain your website in Google search results. So you can see there from the outline on the screen, it's g.co/search console. And again, oh, there you go, Andy's done it already. That is now in chat. You can see how you rank on Google, so you can see your average position. You can see how many people have clicked through, but you can also, again, crucially for the keyword perspective, see what keywords have brought up your web pages. So again, you can see which ones are really, really working, the ones that you might want to think of more combinations of. You can also submit new content and remove content that you don't want shown in the search results, and monitor your site for problems. So one of the lovely things about Search Console, and you can also find Search Console in Google Analytics, is that if Google is having issues indexing your whole site, or finds a problem in your website while it is indexing, you'll get an email through. And so that's going to help you to address that issue as quickly as you possibly can, and make sure that everything is working as well as it can be on your website. So it's like an early alert system. And I think that's really, really useful. So there are lots of reports. You can get reports on Search Console about which queries cause your site to appear in search results, so the things that are working for you, which websites link to your site. So those links, you know, those cross links is a great element of SEO too. And if your site is working well on mobile devices. So there's something crucial too. Does my site actually look good? I mean, we know you will have tested it on a mobile, of course, but nonetheless, generally, is it working on all of the different formats, the screen sizes? You're going to get some indication of that. So data collection there is absolutely crucial, and it is a fantastic tool to use. Again, there's absolutely no cost for using that, so please investigate it. Now, local SEO, we've mentioned, is about getting more acquainted within your local community and getting your footfall through, perhaps potentially if you are a footfall business, so people are coming to visit you perhaps in your premises, businesses that serve their communities face to face. You can see an example on the screen there, on mobile and on tablet. Again, Google Business Profile, Google Maps are essentially the same thing, realistically. The Google Business Profile app is being sunsetted, taking out of circulation, and you will find you and your business and operate and manage your Google Business Profile via the search. Because again, you'll be logged into the email account that you've logged in and registered your business on. It will recognize it's you, and you can manage your profile from there. and the same with Google Maps as well. So this is really linking into some of those search terms that we saw earlier on, the near me. That phrase is very, very well recognized and has increased exponentially over periods of time. So we know that people are looking locally. We know that people want to know where they can find you. And of course, having a presence or a pin on a map helps people to find you immediately too. Now, good thing to mention here is that if you're a service provider and you don't want people to know your physical address because you don't want people turning up at your door, that's fine too. There's a tick box throughout the setup process once you've verified, whereby you can untick the box that says show my physical address. And then you can just put your pin in a particular region or area. So you don't have to have people knowing where you live. So you can use it for products or for services. So the steps that we need to go into business.google.com. And again, Annie will put the link in the chat for you. You add or select your business, you enter your information, and you verify your listing. So some simple steps there to really help you get going fairly, fairly quickly. There are different parts to each of those, which we will break down because we want to show people, this is important, that we're active. So there's an example of Google Business Profile listing on the mobile there, Rachel's Kitchen. So the things that stick out to me are they've got a good photo, nice photo, draws your attention. They've also got 21 reviews with a 4.5 average rating. So encourage your customers to leave reviews because to me, that tells me that Rachel's Kitchen is a credible business and it is something I would consider, again, based on my statements earlier on, that I don't buy really from businesses now unless I've seen their reviews and know that they're going to help me and that they're good. You can see also that you've got on there your location. So if you are a physical business that people can walk or drive to, then you can press that and you can do the directions function. So really easy to make sure that people find you. Crucially, they've got their opening hours. They close at 5:30 p.m. Keep your opening hours up to date and make sure that it is you regularly review it just in case your opening hours change or they're different for different days of the week. You can change your opening hours for different days of the week. You've got your reviews highlighted at the bottom. You can ask questions. There's links there to take them off to the Rachel's Kitchen menu. So you're giving your customers a lot of information. So you can add photos of your business and your team. You can add that virtual tour. Virtual tours are good because it helps your customer to know what they're getting. It helps them be familiar with you and your business. And people like that. People kind of like to know what they're getting. We expect to be facilitated with more information rather than with less information, I think is the quickest way for me to put that. And one very important piece of information that we're looking at there is that we really, really, really do want to make sure that we respond to good and bad reviews. Now, why is that? The reason for that is that, again, based on personal experience, if I'm looking at a set of reviews for a business and they're all good and the business has gone, oh, really glad you had a great experience, really glad you enjoyed it, etc., then that's brilliant. But the more important reviews, I think, are probably the more negative ones, in that if a business doesn't respond to a negative review, does that mean they're not going to help you out if something goes wrong? Or they're not going to try and actually fix the thing that has actually happened, as long as it's a justified negative review? So if I see lots of good reviews with responses, but a negative review without a response, I wonder if I'm going to be helped when things have gone wrong. We all know things go wrong. That's part of life. But it's really how those things are dealt with. And you can also, by responding to those negative reviews, turn a negative into a positive by being helpful, fixing the problem, and taking some responsibility to ensure that your customer is happy. So always respond to your reviews, good and bad. Okay, we're going to move now into search engine marketing. So we've spoken about this previously before when we looked at the differences. Search engine marketing is using paid advertising to make sure that a business's products or services are visible in the search engine results page. That's SERP. So search ads, as we saw, do appear near the top because you've paid for the privilege for them to do that. You can have search campaigns, display campaigns, YouTube campaigns, you have app campaigns, you have so many different types of campaigns. Again, have a look at Google Ads and discover whether any of those would be suitable for you to consider as a way for you to expand your reach and to get under the noses of your customers quite quickly. Up to 7 slots are available across the search engine results page, and the top 4 tend to be the most competitive, as this is again where most users click, as we established earlier on, in terms of, we only go and look at limited amounts of information before we tend to make a decision now. So in terms of us creating a search ad, we're going to create a campaign in Google Ads. Again, campaign, it's a dynamic word. I think I've said this on some of these sessions before. We need action. We want a return on investment. It's a campaign. It's something that we're going to actively monitor. It's something that we might have to tweak or change partway through because we can see that it is working or it isn't working in a way that we'd like it to. Then you can see the middle step there. Pick the right keywords. Keep those keywords really, really centered in your mind, in terms of they're the magnets. The search engine query, the magnets are the keywords in your website. Write a compelling ad, again, keeping your community, your audience, your customers' interest, and making sure that you are putting out the right messages that appeal to them, that say to them, you need to click here because I am the solution to your challenge. So that really is understanding what your customer really, really wants. Again, over time, you're going to do that. You can ask them in polls if you're using social media platforms. Ask questions, be social. Again, it's a great way to get some good engagement. And then experiment. So again, that's where you might need to change your campaign. You might need to run variations of a very similar campaign. It's called A/B testing. Again, you can look up A/B testing and see if that might be applicable for you. So we're at the pause for questions. I can see that, Annie's answered them in chat, and again, keeping busy throughout. So I'll carry on into the third section, which is boosting our presence. Now, the site that we've got there, I think, is just being sunsetted. So I'd like to bring to your attention a site called Page Speed Insights. And Annie, again, will drop the link into that. It does very similar things to the site that you can see on screen, and it's going to help you to look at how effective your site is, how mobile friendly your site is, give your audience a better experience, and bring in more business. So tools like Page Speed Insights are really going to help you to optimize everything that you're doing and make sure that you're not leaving something out, even to the point where we know that perhaps if you've loaded really, really big images, when we use our cameras, sometimes our smartphones, if they've got really, really good resolution, you could be uploading a lot of photos to your website that are huge. That could slow down the loading time of that web page, and maybe people will click off of that and go to a faster site. So you can, your solution there is to compress those images, reduce them in size, put them down to under 1 megabyte each, or I think one of the recommended sizes is around 350 KB. Again, look those things up to make sure that if you are offering images on your website, that they're at a decent size that's going to help your site still load quickly. So yeah, have checked that out. That is Page Speed Insights. And yeah, I can see that Annie has put the link to that on the page. Thank you, Annie. So back to us claiming and verifying our business listing. So we're back on the local search and the local SEO again. We're going to edit our details. We saw the importance of making sure that our information is accurate. We want to ensure that everything is as people would expect it to be. We want to update and change our photos or add to our photos so that we're giving people a stream of information. Again, more and more things to learn from over time, and to, of course, keep them stimulated and to not make your site look like it's particularly static, that there's someone behind it changing things and optimizing it behind the scenes. So respond to those reviews, as we've said, and then add managers, so that if your time is short and you have other people that might want to help you or can help you to keep your Google business profile, your maps listing, as up to date as possible, you can actually add people via their email address to that, and then they can then see your listing as well and make amendments. You can give them a different level of permissions. So you can also create a new website from your Google Business profile, your Maps listing. So this is nice. If you can't afford a website as of yet, or you just want a simple website, this could be the solution. Go onto your business profile, click on the website option, as you can see there, and that will then use all of the information you've put in your Google Business profile to create you a very simple website that you can use. So again, that's why it's so important to make sure that your information is actually up to date. That will then be hosted under your company name .business.site. So that might not be the ideal domain name for you, but you can, if you do have a website domain name, align it to that website if you wish to. And again, all of that will be in the Google Business Profile support pages. So please have a look at that if you think that is something that, again, would help your online presence. So we want to optimize. Again, I mentioned before about the opening hours. We want to add those photos to make sure you're catching people's eye and stopping that scrolling thing that people do. Reply to the views and build trust, because we want people to say, I had a great experience with this business. It's much better than saying, I'm brilliant. It's much better if other people say, yeah, really good. You know, that site was really, really good. So you can post updates, so you can use it a bit like a social media listing as well. Post updates directly to your business listing. Look at that nice cake that you can see for Amy's Bakery there. Any offers as well. You know, people like a bit of a freebie or some money off. So keep them enticed with that as well. Okay, now all of this is going to be made even more useful, and your activity can help to be monitored and measured by using insights. So you've got Google Analytics, but you've also got insights. So Google Business Profile has an insights section. It's going to tell you who's been looking at your page, how many people have been looking at your page. It's going to let you know where people have searched for you in terms of location. So you start to understand how far people are perhaps happy to travel. It can give you a lot of insights to, again, help you optimize your listing and make it more user-friendly. How many people have used the call me option? You can put your phone number on so that people, if they've got a quick question that's perhaps not been answered in your description, can give you a quick call and ask you the question that they want really, really simply. You know, it's a couple of clicks. And that's what you want with all of your website presence, really, as much as it's feasible to do. People need to find what they want to find in a couple of clicks, as many times as they possibly need to do that. Remembering also that keeping yourself accessible, people are always going to be looking at probably 2, 3, 4, 5 websites before they make their decision and buy. So that's why the customer journey is so important, and that's why all of the information that you've provided is going to help them to choose you, make the decision to spend or download or whatever it is that you provide with you. So the better the information, the more conclusive the information, the more you've used insights to gain valuable intelligence and data about your audience, the absolute better. All right, so I'm going to move on to the final pause for questions. And once more, I can see that Annie has answered those questions already and is also posting some really, really useful links. So take note of those links, click them, bookmark them, and use them for later. And perhaps revisit in terms of your next steps in terms of the program, the HOLA program, revisit your portal. Go back in and take a bit of time to sit back, I think, and think about how everything that we've discussed over the weeks links in and builds you a much bigger overall digital marketing picture. We've looked at so many things to help you optimize your online presence. We've highlighted so many tools that are available for you to help you to do that at little or no cost in most cases, which is a fantastic thing. So really, you know, think about how you can apply your goals, how you can think about the business goals that you want to achieve, and how you can use a lot of the techniques that we've been discussing today and over the previous sessions in order for you to be successful. You know, the best tools I think we've probably mentioned overall, if you've got a website, it's going to be Google Analytics and the data that you can extract from that. Okay, so don't forget the mentoring. Again, there's going to be mentoring available within the HOLA program. Fantastic. But there's also the g.co/UK mentoring. Sign up for a session. Mentors like myself and Annie are going to be available to you to help to solve some of your challenges on a very personal basis in relation to your online presence or your digital challenges. So sign up and use that. And really, that leaves me to say thank you so much. We'd love some feedback. GOO.gle digital garage feedback. That'd be fantastic. Let us know how it's been. Let us know what stimulated you and got you thinking, got you moving on to those next steps. So it has been an absolute pleasure to be working in partnership with HOLA once more. What a great session. What a great audience. Thank you so much again to everybody for all of the questions that you've asked us and all of the questions that you've put in. If this is your first session and you've signed up, then look at the portal, because you can go back and you can revisit a lot of these sessions. I believe it's up to 6 months. So you have full access to all of the sessions that we've run for an extended period of time to really help you consolidate your learning and apply the techniques that we're talking about. And of course, to do a lot more research. So without further ado, thanks very much again to Annie. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and hopefully we'll see you again on another Google Digital Garage webinar at some stage. So thanks a lot and see you soon. Goodbye.